Well, hello and welcome inside Amalie Arena, where the Tampa Bay Lightning have officially ended their season, losing in 6 games to the Colorado Avalanche with a 2-1 loss here inside this building. And you can see right behind me, the Avalanche are enjoying their time with the Stanley Cup. You know, unlike last year when we were still under COVID times, it was just the Lightning on the ice, the friends and the family. We couldn't have sort of this moment. Everything was kind of behind the scenes, but here you're kind of witnessing the fans also have this moment with the team, and you get to see the media out there. It was nearly a year ago to the day, it was July 7th when the Bolts did it, that they were inside this building in 2021 hoisting the cup for a second straight season. They made it 2 wins away from rare air, as John Cooper would put it, to doing it 3 straight seasons, something we have not seen since the early 80s with the Islanders. But give credit to the Colorado Avalanche because they just had that little bit of extra to dethrone the defending champs. Game 2 was a terrible contest for the Lightning. Game 3 was a terrible contest for the Avalanche. But in 3 of the 4 matchups, what it ended up coming down to was the Tampa Bay Lightning just unable to close games against this fast team. And you have to think about it because the Lightning, if they were going to beat the Avalanche, they would have went through 4 teams with 50-plus wins in the regular season. No team ever in the history of the sport ever had to go through more than 2 teams with 50-plus wins. That kind of shows you the wear and tear on their bodies to get to this point. Not just the wear and tear from the previous cup runs, which obviously weigh on this team, but the fact that they had to go through 7 against Toronto, 4 against the best team in the league in the Florida Panthers. They had to come back against the Rangers and rattle off 4 straight wins. They had to try and get themselves back here to Tampa and win a road game in Denver. They started out 1-0 in this game. The Avalanche scored 2 in the second period, and the Bolts had no legs in the third. I wish that I could tell you they made a furious push. There was maybe 1 good opportunity in the third period, but the Avalanche had a burst of energy, spent most of the third period in the offensive zone, and really when the Bolts kind of pulled their goalie and Andrei Vasilevsky, they had a couple of chances, but they were all blocked by the swarm of Avalanche players diving in front of pucks. That's what champions do, and now the Colorado Avalanche get to enjoy their future with the cup, have their day with the cup, and the Tampa Bay Lightning now get to fight for a little more life next season and try to win 3 or 4, something someone else in this market knows how to do by the name of Tom Brady. You know, we threw around dynasty, and Alex Clorne said if they win 3, you can talk about dynasty. He doesn't believe back-to-back champs is a dynasty. We'll see. I mean, 6 of 8 Eastern Conference Finals, 2 cups. They still have more life down the road. This isn't the end of the Tampa Bay Lightning. They're all going to come back except for 3 names and maybe some peripheral-type players. Andre Palat, Nick Paul, Jan Rutta. Those are the 3 names that are entering free agency. They'll test the market. We think that the Lightning can make room to bring back one of them, whether it's Nick Paul, Andre Palat. Both had enormous impacts in this postseason. Palat with his 3 game-winning goals in the final 10 minutes of third periods. He had 7 third-period goals in the entire playoffs. Or Nick Paul, who, of course, cemented himself into Lightning legacy a little bit with the 2 goals in Toronto in that Game 7. And then Jan Rutta, who scored in Denver a couple nights ago on that Friday. And he has been a staple on this blue line, which is a reason why the Lightning have been so good of recent memory. So this one stings for a lot of Bolts fans out there, understandably so. But there is a lot of life left in this group as they still remain one of the favorites entering next season to hoist the cup again. It will be a quick off season. They'll have to turn it around, flush this, but we know that they will certainly be motivated by what's happening behind us as another team is celebrating the cup on their ice. And next year around, we talked about the last day of school in 2021 when they hoisted the cup and a lot of players had to leave. Well, next year is really the last day of school because there are some big names entering free agency. We won't get down that road quite yet. We'll let this soak in. John Cooper after the game said before he worries about having 3 or 4, he's just going to appreciate what this group did, soak it all in, and the one word he said was proud. and I think everybody in the Tampa Bay community can be pretty proud of this group. John Cooper and Steven Stamkos, before the season, asked their team, are they full? And at the end of this run, it's really, they were empty. They emptied a tank to get to this point, and they did one heck of a job to even make it to Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Final.